Alright, now we go from the Cleveland Browns winning their first game since 2016 to the talk of the town with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that is, will Ryan Fitzpatrick still start once Jameis Winston's 3-game suspension is up? Now, if you look at the stats here, Ryan Fitzpatrick has thrown for over 800 yards, has 8 touchdowns now, threw one interception that was juggled up in the air by the tight end O.J. Howard. But that's a pretty impressive record for a journeyman who's into his 13th year here in the NFL. Over 800 yards, averaging over 100 yards per touchdown thrown. He has a bunch of deep balls to Deshaun Jackson, some deep balls to Mike Evans. He has that 75-yard touchdown pass to O.J. Howard. I mean, what more can we get out of a deep threat than that in the first 2 weeks? Now, going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the FitzMagic could potentially run out, and that would be the turning point for who starts in week 4 between Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick. But even if Ryan Fitzpatrick loses, it would be a slippery slope to go down because if you start Jameis Winston, you're most likely going to have an increased turnover rate from him. You might still get the 4,000 yard passing season from Jameis Winston, but I guarantee you his interception rate is going to go up from what it was last year. Whereas if we start Ryan Fitzpatrick after the game against Pittsburgh, we're going to get a veteran quarterback that knows how to read defenses, how to throw the ball downfield to open guys, how to lead the passers, and how to scramble for yards when he really needs it. Remember, he has one rushing touchdown, and that was against the New Orleans Saints. I mean, this guy is overall an impressive quarterback for us, and thank God we signed him last year and re-signed him to another 1-year contract because holy dog shit, is Ryan Fitzpatrick doing an amazing job. So the bottom line is that while Ryan Fitzpatrick may job for these 3 games, I wouldn't take him out as quarterback just yet because he's still got that FitzMagic in him, and it's about to show for another 4 to 7 weeks, depending on how long they're willing to keep Ryan Fitzpatrick in the game. So, when it all comes down to it, I wouldn't start Jameis Winston after his 3-game suspension immediately. I would wait until about 3 to 4 weeks before I make that decision on who to play for quarterback, Jameis Winston or Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, personally, I prefer Ryan Fitzpatrick a bit more because of what he did in the last 2 games that he played, but the reality is that he's not our future. Jameis Winston is our future. He's been going at it for 3 years, slinging the balls and getting touchdowns. I personally believe he'll have another 4 to 5 years in him for our season. And who knows, maybe Ryan Fitzpatrick could lead us to a Super Bowl this year. But looking ahead, I think if you're going to talk about future QBs, we might as well go with Jameis Winston after a delay. Like after 4 weeks after suspension's up, I'd evaluate Ryan Fitzpatrick on his play and make a decision whether to keep him in or to sub Jameis Winston in there. Because believe it or not, Jabu Wins can actually get the job done on offense. Plus, he can make some incredible comebacks and provide us with some overtime plays when he really needs it. I mean, he showed it with the Atlanta Falcons and the Oakland Raiders, respectively. So, this one's a hard one. I'd say yes to starting Jameis Winston after the suspension, but I'd do it 4 weeks after the suspension's up to be on the safe side.